you fly yourself out? She flew herself out to Spirit to try to get piped out. And it kind of just realistically didn't make no sense to me because she made it seem like he was broken. He was faking. Well, if you used to talking to dudes with money, in what planet would you have to fly yourself out? That kind of didn't make no sense to me. Like I do like, and I'm not gonna lie, shout out to the women who are willing to fly themselves out, but I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, cool, I ain't trying to get no cheeks. I'm gonna be honest with you. If you gotta fly yourself out, that mean the nigga really ain't fucking with you. I'm gonna just be God honest with you. Like I respect it, I appreciate it. But if I'm being dead honest, if you got to fly yourself out and I don't offer to sit here and pay for the flight, I really don't care if you don't come on that. Like, I'm not geeking to hit you because if I'm geeking to hit, I'm going to sit here and pay for the flight. But if I'm not geeking to hit, all right, cool. If you say, oh, I'm going to sit here and go get a hotel room and do this and that, I know fellas is dirty, Mac, and I ain't supposed to give out this type of game. But if you got to pay for the room, you got to pay for the flight. Nigga ain't really trying to fuck for real. I'm keeping it a bean.
Young lit nigga that's lit on the internet, and to me I feel like he was like was cat. So yeah, I met him on the internet. I was in Bahamas like the beginning of January for my son. I'm sorry, the beginning of February for my son's birthday or whatever, and he DM'd me on Instagram like, need you. So I'm like, oh, I've been trying to give you me or whatever like that. So he like, you know, whatever, we gonna exchange numbers or what. So I'm like, yeah, because like, you know, he's some fine shit. Like, I love dark skinned niggas, and when I say he's some fine shit, bitch, he's some fine shit or whatever like that. So on the internet, like, you know, he got 2 watches, big Cardi, 6 cars, supposedly own his house, and he young as fuck or whatever.
So real quick, I just want to pause it right there. So when I did, so of course the video, the dude responded to it and he ended up making videos and explaining. So I'm not gonna play his part because he was like from Chicago. He literally sounds just like King Von. But I see the video and I'm watching his watches. And that's why I love women who keep it a bean. I seen women in the comments like, bro, are we all looking at the same watch? There ain't no way in the world you thought this boy really had some bread because the watches just look fake as shit. Like, you know, that like when Marcus was just talking about the difference between, like, it didn't even look like a rapper watch. It looked like, bro, it just looked like a regular little youngin who see him went to the mall and bought some jewelry. And I've been a youngin who bought mall jewelry before. I've even been a youngin who bought jewelry from a jewelry store before, but it's a difference between that type of like, oh, I got me a little bit of drug money and nobody don't know no better. Like, and it was different. You got to think about what I'm talking about. This is early 2000s. The internet really wasn't a thing yet. So you don't really even get to see how the athletes and the rappers was really living. So you can kind of get away with wearing BS jewelry back then compared to now where I got to go look at Jalen Hurts and I can see what real jewelry look like. Like, bro, no. Like, when I'm looking at him talk and he was doing his response video, I'm looking at this watch like, bro, this watch is fake as hell. And that's why your ass was on Spirit Airlines trying to fly him some box.
Like that. Dress nice, always designer down, like always posting mad money, etc. So, you know, like that's my type. I love me a hood, get money nigga. So he asked for my number or whatever like that. So I gave him my number. And like he texted me, and I'm not gonna lie, like it was little signs that I didn't like. Like, if you know I'm on vacation with my kids, like I remember I posted my drink or whatever, and I didn't text him right back. And he's on my phone like, oh, you see me text you or whatever, but you posting. Like that right there was like you only have my number for like 20 minutes, like chill out. But I let him slide. So we planned to see each other or whatever like this, like whatever like that on this Saturday. That's it, this Saturday, right? And we planned for me to come Valentine's Day weekend or whatever. And he really was on some shit where like he was like, oh, come whatever, what day, what time, it don't even matter. Like, do whenever you could come, just come. So I chose that weekend because I'm free every other weekend for my kids. They go with their dad or whatever like that. So that was my free weekend. So I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I thought he was a fake page at first or whatever.
Oh, real quick, just to pause, just to double back on our conversation last week when I told you, Marcus, it's people out here who spend Valentine's Day together and won't never see each other again. That was a perfect example. She was willing. She's so again, when I see and said last week, people be so pressed and so desperate not to spend Valentine's Day on her own. She literally was going to fly herself to a whole nother city to meet somebody she's never seen in real life before to spend Valentine's Day with him. It's a lot of desperate people out here.
That because it just was like too good to be true. So we were only text, and like he'll tell me to FaceTime him, but by the time I FaceTime him or whatever, he not answering. Now he got an excuse or he don't FaceTime back. So bitch, I started thinking like, bitch, I'm gonna get catfish if I go down here. So I told him, I'm like, look, this Wednesday, like the Wednesday before the Friday. So I'm like, FaceTime me before Friday or I'm not coming. So now he got all that energy. He FaceTime me, etc. I got him on the phone before you really couldn't. Like he'd just be texting and shit like that. So he FaceTimed me, he was real, looked the same, looked good as fuck. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm ready, etc. So Friday come and we talk, and I'm like, like, you ready? Like, I'm at the nail salon. I'm like, you ready? Like, I can't wait to see you. I can't wait to meet you, etc. So he like, yeah, or whatever like that. But I feel like his energy was a little off because he was more excited days before. So I'm like, you good, love? Like, you okay? Because I'm like, I feel like your energy is like kind of off. Like, you're not excited as you was. So he's like, oh, I just found out I got to get my daughter or whatever today. Mind you, it's the day I leave. Like, I'm leaving at 10 p.m. at night to land. I think my flight would land like 12:48 a.m. originally. So I'm like, yo, I took our work for this or whatever, and I already checked into the flight. And he's like, well, what's the issue? Nobody didn't tell you not to come. Like, you can still come. I'm good. I'm gonna just get a sitter. If anything, her and the sitter are just at my house, and we could just get home. So I'm like, you know what? All right, that's cool. I'm all for that, or whatever the case may be. So I still go. Like, I get my nails and I run to the mall. I get everything I need. I pack my shit, and I tell him like, all right, I'm going to land at this time. I go to the airport. Mind you, y'all, I'm rushing because I'm always fucking last minute. I get to the airport. I board the flight, or whatever like that. So before I boarded the flight, he texted me this hotel, like Signa or something. It's like one of the best hotels in Atlanta. So I tried to book the hotel online, but everything was booked up. So I told him, I'm like, look, everything booked up because it's Valentine's Day weekend. So he like, nah, you got to call. So I called, and like everything was booked the fuck up. Like, literally, it was no hotel. So he like, well, find whatever you can find and just book it, and I'm gonna get you from the airport. So I'm like, what's your budget? So he like, what you mean? I'm like, what's your budget? Like, I'll book the room, but when I land, I expect to get my money back or whatever like that. So I'm on the plane, y'all. The plane done took off. So the nigga like, oh, the least you could do is pay for the room. So I'm like, huh? So this when the mishap coming, because I get it. Okay, we supposed to stay at your house originally, but then your child came into play. So now we got to go stay somewhere else, which is cool. Because I think a hotel is better anyway, because you don't know me and I don't know you. And it's more safer, I feel like. So he like, yeah, like, you can pay for the room. I'm going to fund the rest of the trip. Baby, you a whole scammer. You think I'm paying for a motherfucking hotel for you to come fuck on me? So he all like, yo, I feel like you could pay for something. I'm funding the rest of the trip or whatever the case may be. Yo, so we start arguing or whatever like that. So then the plane land, and I'm like, you really arguing over a $300-something hotel, but you scamming. You hitting all these licks, all this big money you posting. I mean, like $20,000-$30,000. You can't book a $300 hotel. And I just felt like, if you brought me to your city, you should make sure I'm good. Like, if you came to my city and something happened, I'm going to correct it before you get there. I'm going to figure this shit the fuck out. Because, I mean, why wouldn't I? Like, it don't make sense. I didn't ask to come there. You wanted to come. Now, I agree we wanted to see each other, but still, like, what? So when I landed,
real quick, I got a question for you, Erica. As a woman, do you feel like did she sound like she was desperate because she booked her own flight to go see the dude?
No, he finessed her.
How?
You said
How did he finesse her?
I feel like he finessed her. He probably made it sound all good, and then he probably got caught up. He really couldn't get out.
No, but even still, do y'all? Okay, my question, I guess, do y'all think women flying themselves out to a man? Do y'all feel like that's a little desperate?
No.
No. Why?
Because who to say she really paid for them tickets? A lot of people use their flight mileage and buddy passes and all that.
Okay, I just was asking. I just wondered how y'all thought about that.
the nigga arguing, going all back and forth and shit. So I'm like, listen, cancel your sitter, stay home with your kid. Go ahead and buy. I'm cool. Like, I ain't even link you no more, etc. Y'all, this nigga was like, oh, you must be coming to come see another nigga. Nigga, what? I took off from my job, stopped one of my business to come see you. And you talking about another nigga? That's your response? Y'all, he kept fucking arguing. I couldn't believe it because I'm like, bro, like, if you getting all this money and you got all this motion, all this shit going on, like, $300 is nothing. So I'm like, if I book this hotel, you can't come. So that's what the fuck I did. I booked the hotel, and shout out to that Spirit flight attendant because, yo, he stayed in that airport with me and found me a hotel, y'all. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have had nowhere to stay, like, at all. But I booked that hotel, y'all, and I left that nigga on red. Like, I stopped responding, and I just made it into a solo trip. But I still was just, like, mad because I trip. Like, Atlanta, cool. We used to do that for New Year's, but, like, just to go and spend that much money, it was just, like, I could have went somewhere else. Like, that was kind of crazy. So me personally, I just feel like his lifestyle got to be kept because I done dealt with some big money niggas. Like, I mean, rich niggas, like that's running businesses to get legit money. I done dealt with a rapper. I'm not gonna say who the fuck he is because he is a big rapper that y'all listen to every single day. And niggas with money ain't complaining. They're not doing all that. Like, I'm telling you, they're not doing all that. Like, when you come see them, they have everything into play, everything booked, bitch, your itinerary set up, all that. Like, it ain't making sense. So to me, his life was just kept. And to be honest, I never really seen him go out and do nothing or anything like that. Like, he not in the mall blowing no money. Like, he ain't no 5-star restaurants. Like, he really don't be doing nothing. Like, he might go skate or something, but like other than that, like that nigga don't be really doing shit like with the money he's supposed to have. Like, he got all this motion. You would think he'd be tripping like something. Like, nah, he not doing none of that. So to me personally, the life is kept. And I was just mad because I felt like, damn, like I flew here to see you and this happened. Never doing it again. And then his excuse was, well, you knew what I had going on and you still came. Nigga, you never told me not to come. When I checked in with you and we spoke, you told me to still come. It wasn't an issue. And you was going to get a sitter. Like, what? That don't even make sense. Like, make it make sense. I would have stayed the fuck home. I'm not that pressed to see no nigga. Like, bitch, you know, I get niggas. Like, what?
Yeah.
Be for real. I was just upset at the fact that you still allowed me to come or whatever like that, knowing that you was gonna do that or whatever the case may be. And I'm not saying he lying about getting his kid, because bitches do that. Like, bitches that know it's a Valentine's Day week or something going on and be like, oh yeah, you not I'm gonna stick him with the kid because I don't want him to be with no other bitch. So it do be like that, but still, like, come on, yo. Like, I don't live down the street. I live in another state. I flew there.
But again, that to me is just like, bro, that's your fault though. You flew there.
And you ain't her.
Like that's the only part that kind of just throw me off a little bit, because it's like,
You ain't her. You talking
I
about I
ain't
deal
that
with a
shit
rapper
for
and I
real.
don't want to talk about who he is. Nigga, do you not her?
yeah, that was just, to me, it was just a little bit thirsty. And
Like, you bought a spirit, you bought a spirit ticket out there. Right? So you didn't pay that much. It wasn't like you flying first class or nothing like that.
yeah, I mean, but
And
again,
then
like I said,
and then you bought a hotel. All right, cool. How much money did you really spend? You talking about I'll be tripping.
no, listen to what I'm saying. I think one,
Capping
yeah,
around.
I do think she was putting. I mean, let's be clear. I don't know how much the flight was. I mean, of course, at this point, I'd be hearing a lot of people saying flights are super cheap because a lot of people not running the geek to sit here and go fly nowhere because of all the plane crashes. So I don't necessarily know how much the flight was, but I'm sure, even especially if she was trying to stay like downtown Atlanta, close to the airport, trying to go to Atlanta during Valentine's Day weekend, I could imagine that a lot of the good hotels was probably already booked up. So I'm sure she probably was a little bit sick to her stomach that you probably had to just go stay in like a Motel 6 or something crazy like that. But again, to me, it seemed like she was
You
just
shouldn't have
gigging.
went out there.
Of course, but that's why my whole point of what I'm saying is that sometimes when women are just so eager to kind of get dick down, and I even seen one of the jumps where he was asked, when she asked him, has a girl ever used a throat spray on him before? I know what a throat spray is.
Mm-hmm.
I never heard of it before until this, but I think it is the age gap too between. I think she like 30 something, and he in his 20s. So it was kind of just like he kind of was like he was a little turned off because he was like, "What you mean?" And I think she asked him, "Has he ever got his butt ate?" So she was asking him like, "Has he ever used a throat spray?" And has he ever?
That's
got
why
it?
she booked the flight and everything.
Yeah, of course. But that's why I'm saying. That's why I said I do think she was a little bit thirsty, because I think if a nigga geeking hard enough, he gonna buy his own flight. Like, and I don't want to discourage, because I feel like I'm cock blocking me sitting here saying, "Oh, ladies, don't book your flight," because I'm sure like that's some hating shit to me. It sounds like you shouldn't. I ain't supposed to say that as a man, but it's still just, again, listening to it, it's like,
But that's cool. That's cool. That's fine. If you book your own flight, pay for your hotel, cool. I'm still gonna come through. He gave you the runaround because he wasn't coming.
no, for sure. No, listen to what I'm saying. And that's basically what he said in his video. In his response video, that's realistically what he was saying.
He was not coming. I was hoping you probably would be like, all right, I'm gonna cancel.
And no, listen,
And reschedule.
and guess what? And that what you just said is everything.
How many times a nigga done sit here and got a hotel? Oh, I'm about to what's name? Oh yeah, boom, boom, boom. And sure, you fall asleep, or sure you don't answer the phone call.
For sure.
Yeah, but I would not sit here and travel somewhere and it's not guaranteed.
Yeah, and that's basically what he said in his joint. Like I said, he talked kind of slow, so I really don't want to sit here and play his joint out because I felt like that was
I'm
long
sure. That's
enough.
what I said.
But that was basically
when
his
he
answer,
bought the
though.
kids, and I'm pretty sure he wasn't about to come out.
And that's basically
And you
what he
should have
said.
took it as that.
And that's basically what he said. And that's absolutely what he said in his talking point. So like I said, I don't have to play his part, because that's exactly what he said. He was like, "Bro, I told you I had my kid. I thought that you would realistically use your common sense and
Be
just
like, all
cancel
right,
the
the
trip.
next time.
Yeah, maybe I'll just catch you the next time and just cancel the trip."
And that's why when when you said Valentine's, I'm like, what? Like, you about to go fly out to somebody you ain't never
But
seen.
listen to what I'm saying. But that's why I told you last week. People be that
No,
desperate.
I hear you. Going out on a date, cool. Like, hey, yeah, let's go. But you talking about flying to go see somebody for the first
No,
time?
listen
on
to what I'm saying.
Valentine's
Listen to what I'm saying. I could
That's
have noticed what I'm
fucking
saying. No,
nuts.
listen to what I'm saying. I could imagine it that happening, but I couldn't imagine a woman had to pay for her own flight.
On
Because,
Valentine's, yes.
No, so that's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying. So if because me and you was building, let's just sit here and say, hey, we've been talking, we've been DMing, we've been texting each other for a couple months now. So let's just sit here and say from Thanksgiving to leading up to Valentine's Day, and we planning for our first time to link up. And that's what I'm saying. To me as a man, just listening to a woman, it sounds desperate because it was like, cool. If we've been talking and we've been kind of building up the anticipation. And you talking about this is on Valentine's Day weekend. There's no way in hell you should have been paying for your own flight.
Yeah, no, like I said, when you said that, I'm thinking you talking about somebody out just random out your DM, like, oh, I want to spend Valentine's, let's go. I want to go on a date. Like, yeah, that's some desperate ass shit. I'm not doing that shit on
I mean, what's the difference between what she did? That's almost to me. That's even more desperate.
No, it is. That's because you sit here and flew out of it. Yes, that it. But I'm just saying, like, that's just crazy for it to be sitting here Valentine's Day and you sitting here just taking anybody to because you want to be treated.
Man, like I said, it happened, and it definitely happened to her. So, like I said,